if Steph Curry does get his fifth ring, where are we putting him? I think you can argue he's already top 10. Does he crack top five
Third
if
all
he
Yeah,
gets his
time.
fifth ring?
top five for sure.
Third
He
all
could.
time.
He cracks top five, absolutely. You can maybe even put him in that GOAT discussion. If you have a player in the modern NBA that revolutionized the game the way he did and has 5 rings, how is that not a conversation?
GMLB family, welcome back to another episode of the Good Morning Let's Basketball Show. My name is Mike Miles. That's Kevin Daniel, and that's Victor. Today we got a lot planned. We're going to be talking about the Warriors and if they're for real, potentially Steph Curry's fifth ring and the legacy that comes with that. Then we're going to move into Good Morning Check Your Mailbox. We have another fan email, which you can email us at gmlbfans.com, and we do read all emails on the show. Then we'll move into which teams have the most to gain from an NBA championship this season. And finally, we're going to end with a new segment called Fusion 5, which we'll get into later in the pod. As always, we are on Snapchat, Instagram, YouTube, Apple Podcast, and Spotify. We'd appreciate a follow on all platforms if you enjoy the content and to just keep us motivated to keep producing content for you guys. And fellas, we do have a moment of silence for De'Aaron Fox. I decided to give him a moment of silence because he dropped 60 in a loss. So
Let's
that
add for the 2-16 76ers.
I don't think it's that bad yet. I think they're 2-11 right now. But yeah, we'll throw in the 76ers, throw in Paul George. We'll just loop in all the stars over there. So we're gonna give a moment of silence to De'Aaron Fox for 60 in a loss and the 2-11 Philadelphia 76ers. Let's give them five, fellas. GMLB family, first we're going to talk about the Warriors and their success so far this season. We're a month into the season. The age-old question looms, are they still true title contenders? With their core aging, intriguing new pieces on the roster, and a Western Conference as competitive as ever, the Warriors' path to another championship isn't easy. We're going to dive into things like success so far this season, Steph Curry, the departure of Klay, the roster depth, defense, especially Draymond Green, who's having himself a season. And are they looking at another title run? Fellas, let's dive in. What do you guys think about the Warriors' chances at another title run?
I
No.
I think they look
I uh
legit.
I said uh I said before the season that I didn't think they're going to be too great this year, and they started off great, so that's good to see. I'm eating my words there a little bit, but title run maybe. I think some other teams in the West have gotten off to a little bit of a shaky start, and they started off hot. I do think they'll keep it up, but when it comes time for playoffs, I think I favor some teams over them in a 7 game series.
What teams? What teams do you think can take them down right now? Because it doesn't. The only team that seems like they can take them down right now are the Clippers, which they've lost twice to for some reason.
We'll throw them in there. Thanks for that. I wasn't thinking them, but we can put them in there with with Kawhi too. Would definitely help. Clippers, I think the Thunder beat them. I think Minnesota can beat them. Denver may be able to, and I think Phoenix can heavily compete.
Okay. Yeah. So you got them pretty low. You think pretty much every quote unquote contender could take them down in the
Well,
West.
yeah, any contender can take any contender down, but these are the teams that I like. I truly only believe in the West that can beat them, that can beat them in a series. I don't think that's like saying like a whole lot, or if it's too crazy to say all those teams can beat them.
I think they're looking pretty legit. I don't know if they could win the championship, but I do think they could have a good shot at making the finals. We're seeing Draymond turn back the clock and playing really good defense this year, and I think that's a huge factor of why they're being so good. Steph Curry, he's playing amazing as well. Their bench is a really huge piece for them. Buddy Hield coming off the bench and being potentially the sixth man of the year award winner has been really crucial for them. They also got Cal Anderson, Lindy Waters has been hooping too, and
He
not
started last night, which was
yeah,
kind of crazy, I thought.
Yeah.
and the Warriors this year they're fifth in offensive rating, fourth in defensive rating, And during their title runs in 2015, they were second in offense, first in defense. 2017, first in offense and second in defense. And then 2022, fifth in offense, second in defense. I know we're only, what is it, like 10 games in or 12?
Yeah, something like that, like
But
13, 12, 13.
yeah, but they're looking legit from like the small sample size. They've beaten some pretty good teams with the Celtics, Grizzlies. I think they're coming up to play the Phoenix Suns here soon. So I think they're just gonna get tested a little bit coming up in these next couple games. But overall, they've exceeded expectations. A lot of people counted them out.
Yeah, I mean, for this season, I think I'm gonna say no, they're not. They're not contenders to me. I don't think they really have a chance at winning a championship. Um, but the way that the question was posed, I feel like a lot of people like just in general around the NBA community, I feel like a lot of people have like a defeatist mindset towards the Warriors. And if like in the next few years, if they're going to be able to be good, I've had hope that this Warriors team can be good again. So this to me is, just a launching point, just an area to kind of improve on and go into next year and hopefully get some more pieces and do some things that will hopefully bring them closer to contention. But right now, with what they have, personally, I don't think they can win a championship.
This is a completely different team than last year. Like defensively, this team is really good.
Yeah, I will say Draymond Green for the first few weeks of the season. I don't know if I think he just fell out of the top five recently, but he could easily pop back in there. But he's been in Defensive Player of the Year conversations, which, I mean, we haven't seen something like that in a minute. We haven't seen Draymond contribute like that to a title roster in a minute. So it's interesting. I think I agree with you in terms of turning back the clock, considering he's making an effort in the push for that award.
And the thing too is like early in the season, he like I think the first two games or something, Chet and Wemby were getting those depoy like nominations or whatever everybody was saying that they should be it. And he was like, what about Draymond? And he's proving that right now. He's I think he's a huge factor in when the Warriors have success and have their title runs. He's one of the biggest reasons of why they do so good in the playoffs and winning championships and everything like that. I think he's a huge factor.
I agree with you. I think he is definitely like over the past few years, he hasn't been shy about reminding me people that like, he is a big part of that team. But right now, I think what's going on is there was a vacuum of who was the best, who were those guys on the Warriors because of Klay leaving. And now, as one of the veteran guys there that has seen a lot of stuff throughout the league over the course of the last decade, he understands the game a lot better than I think people give him credit for. So, with that being said, I think he's definitely entered a new era of his time with the Warriors, and I think that he's settling into a role that's it's it is Curry's team, but this has also been Draymond's team too in a less iconic way.
Oh, also just on the topic of confidence, he's been shooting the three ball a lot more too.
You beat me to it. Do you guys
And
want to take a guess at what his percentage is right now?
I know it.
41.
45.
no idea.
46.7%. That's incredible.
Jeez.
I was gonna say I saw him. I watched a little bit of the game yesterday. It was pretty late. I saw him hit two. His shot looks better too. Like it's not just he's hitting him more efficiently. I think his shot looks less Ed in the nicest way possible. But yeah, I mean he's definitely playing his best basketball that he has in a really long time now. But they go on a generational run, get Curry and Draymond their fifth rings. Some of those other guys on their team, their second or third, or whoever. I think GP2 that'd be his second. Looney, I feel like I have no idea how long he's been on the Warriors,
I think it would be
but it's
his
definitely
fourth.
possible. It'd be Looney's fourth.
Fourth ring.
Yeah.
Oh
Mhm.
wow.
Wow, I was gonna say I know he had like two or three. I just wasn't sure how many exactly he had. But yeah, it's extremely possible. I'm not counting them out the way that I was before the season, but something's still not sitting right for me.
Before we move off of Draymond, I wanted to like say like, dude, is everybody just getting a jump shot this season? like shooting behind the arc. Like, what the hell?
Everyone
40,
except Pods.
46?
Pods lost his jump shot. He can shoot water in the ocean, honestly. That guy is
Yeah,
struggling right now.
yeah, he's too busy jumping into the stands and rolling onto the floor. Try hard. But
He still hates him. He still hates Pods,
he
man.
just tries so hard. And it's like, bro,
Roll the clip again.
like you
I'll
can
throw it in post.
You know who I hate to watch? Pods. I think he sucks.
What?
Dude, I would not like. He's so.
What?
He's
Damn.
actually so like it sucks watching him.
Bro, he
I'd
plays
rather
so
watch
hard.
Exactly my point.
Yeah,
I don't.
I'd rather watch.
I
I mean,
don't
like,
that, bro.
I know what
Bro.
you mean
Wait,
because
what'd
I
you say?
remember you.
I
used
said
to
he
tell me.
plays so hard. Like,
Oh my
I like watching someone
Kevin
compete.
doesn't like tryhards
You
like
said-
that.
Like,
No, I,
you can play that style of playing in the G League, bro. We don't need that in the league. But what you said about everyone getting a jump shot, the three ball is like the new defense. How back then it used to be if you can't play defense, you're not touching the floor. Nowadays, if you can't shoot, you're not touching the floor. I feel like.
I was gonna say, like to your point, I feel like a lot of like the two names that come to mind of players that have been shooting more are Draymond and Jokic, and like those are two guys that have been in the league a little bit longer. So it could just be that, guys that we've conventionally seen in the league not shoot threes are, like Kevin said, forced into a position where now they have to develop their game, and this is the first year where we're actually seeing the numbers to support it.
Yeah, I
Well,
agree with
even
you
like
on that.
Shea, Ant, too. I mean, we talked about that last episode. It's
De'Aaron
just
Fox.
yeah,
Ant's
Fox
Ant
too.
Ant is a unique one because Ant did come out like with a clip for some reason this season. It seems like.
Fox is an interesting one because like him when he first came into the league, like he would just mainly be a slasher. But now he slowly started going back. Like he started at the mid range and now he's at the three.
Yeah, I will say I said it last episode, but last season I placed a bet on Shea Gilgeous-Alexander. It was over 0.5 threes. That was his line. I tuned into a game this season and he shot 12. So
Ooh.
it's a whole different game out there in Oklahoma City, man. They're gonna do something special this year. But let's loop back to the Warriors before we get too off topic. What do you guys think about them playing 12 guys in their rotation and just splitting minutes up? Do you think it's going to be detrimental later down the line when these guys possibly lack experience and have and like clutch minutes and heavy minutes with so many different rotations? What do you guys think it's a good thing or a bad thing?
I think these people getting these reps early and playing 12 guys right now is good for later in the season, especially when people start getting banged up. Because let's say you only play 6 or 7 guys and 2 or 3 of your guys get hurt and the playoffs come around. Now you got to play a guy who didn't play much all season. As opposed to you playing 10 to 12 guys, maybe 2, 3, 4 players get hurt. Now you won't have to stress as much. Like, did this dude get enough reps? Did he develop? Did he improve enough over the season? So I think that's cool. I really like that, especially for the bench unit. If you have a bench unit that's talented enough and all those people that you want to play can contribute, I say why not? I think it can be extremely, extremely beneficial. You just have a bunch of different matchups that you can make out there and just a whole bunch of different schemes that you can run.
Yeah, I would say the only detriment that I see right now is last night against the Clippers. You had GP2 in the final minutes, a non-scorer, non-shooter. I believe he was 0-4. He might have hit one. Him and Pods both played heavier minutes when the Warriors were struggling to score, right? So you have guys like Kuminga just sitting on the bench, guys like Moses Moody sitting on the bench, and these guys are only getting in the last 10 games, it looks like 25 minutes. So it's hard because you're playing these like hard-nosed defenders, but in games where they get in trouble scoring wise, like this last game against the Clippers, and it's going to come down to the end. These guys are just sitting on the bench, and Steve Kerr is favoring defense. And I think at least last night it hurt them bad because they gave up what should have been a guaranteed win for them, especially at full health. Besides, I know DeAnthony Melton's out right now, but if you're playing 12 guys deep, you're essentially full health. So interesting that they kept him on the bench for those final minutes.
I think this is honestly part of a bigger issue that ties into load management. I do think that getting more guys in the rotation and early on in the season, getting them used to the competitive nature of going up against, like you said, Miles, some tough-nosed defenders or just teams in general. I think that is so crucial and so important. I don't like the coaching style of, oh, these are my five guys. Everyone else on my roster is a bum. I'm gonna play these guys till they die. Shout out you, Tibbs. I think personally, if you get everyone involved, it's just going to pay dividends in the playoffs and in the long run of the series, right? If these guys are used to playing competitive basketball with the starters and in the rotation, again, I just don't see how that can't be a good thing. And the reason why I say it ties into load management is because I think that's just self-apparent, right? The more guys you get involved, the less you would think the starters would need for load management. And the reason why I bring that up is because me personally, you guys talked about the shortening the season to 65 games. I don't personally like that. I do want to see 82 games. I want to see these guys play throughout a season, but let some other guys play. Let some other guys get in the rotation. It's just going to be better for the fans who will get exposed to better guys off the bench, and it'll be better for the teams.
I mean, with their bench and stuff right now, like they've been playing phenomenal. I think they have the best bench in the NBA right now. Like you guys pretty much covered everything. I think it's good for these guys getting that experience, and who knows, maybe Steve Kerr will switch it up later in the season, but right now it's working. And Jonathan Kuminga, like you mentioned, I know he's been in talks with trade rumors, but who knows what will happen with that?
He always is,
Yeah, he always
Who
is.
knows if they'll actually do it.
Yeah, I
But yeah,
highly doubt it. He could be. I
this,
always thought he could be so good for them, but
I
it
mean,
just
he
seems like,
is.
yeah,
He
he is.
is.
But just like the opportunity for him is just, it just hasn't really came for him, which sucks because he has a lot of talent.
Yeah. It's just so hard because he's always in these trade rumors, but the Warriors are always unwilling to give him up. So he just like stays there, just like sits the bench, which kind of sucks. But circling back to Victor's point about being the best bench. I don't know if you said this already, but we do have a stat here. The Warriors are currently, as of this recording, the best bench in the NBA, averaging 58.8 points per game. It's a
And
lot of points.
yeah, and when you're going against other teams with weaker benches and your bench unit's beating them in points, that's gonna help a lot against a lot of especially like I know there's some contenders with weak benches, so going up against them is just gonna help them.
Yeah. It almost seems like Clay's departure just brought on just allowed everyone else to just like collectively fill those minutes. It was an interesting decision by Steve Kerr to have the whole team fill the minutes rather than like having just one player step into that role, the Anthony Melton slash Buddy Hield. So interesting strat. We might, it's a copycat league. We might see other teams start playing deep, man. You never know with those fresh legs. I know the Bucks are looking at deeper rotations right now, so who
That's
knows?
that's addition by subtraction. Shout out Norm Powell.
He was slanging that thing last night.
Pause. He
Who was
always
his
is
matchup?
though.
Waters was his matchup, wasn't it?
Uh, I don't know. I don't know who his direct matchup was. I'd assume it was Lindy Waters. But yeah, let's touch on this briefly. If Steph Curry does get his fifth ring, where where are we putting him? I think you can argue he's already top 10. Does he crack top 5
Third
if
all
he
Yeah,
gets his
time.
fifth ring?
Top five for sure.
Third all
he
time.
cracks he cracks top five absolutely. You can maybe even put him in that GOAT discussion. If you have a player in the modern NBA that revolutionized the game the way he did and has 5 rings, how's that not a conversation? I'm not saying he would be the GOAT, but people that don't that's are there's gonna be people that are gonna say no, it's not a conversation yet. They're just playing devil's advocate. It's kind of like a denial. It's like how is he
Yeah.
not? How is he
I
not?
am I almost feel like people, you can correct me if I'm wrong on this, but I feel like because he's like a 6'2" point guard, everyone's like he can't be dominant when like he's equally as dominant as LeBron or Jordan or Kobe or Magic or Kareem. He's just not like as versatile, I guess you could say, but like he's literally just as dominant. I think like the physical stature of Stephen Curry almost makes people think that he's like not dominant when he literally is. I hear that a lot, bro. They're
I
like,
don't
look,
ever
who's
hear that. I don't
he
ever hear
can't
that,
guard.
but
It's like the
I know what you're talking
misconception.
about. I hear people say that, but I just think they're stupid because I've seen this dude dominate with my own eyes the past like 11 years. Like it's enough. But people will still talk about like how dominant or how like amazing or how scary like AI was, who was smaller than Curry, way
Yeah,
less talented, and didn't win anything.
I mean,
it's true.
on the topic of domination too, like, we gave so much credit to LeBron for being in the finals. Well, I don't remember the exact statistic, but like more than 70% of the time in the last decade. Well, Curry has 2 more years, I think, right? 2026 to win 5 NBA championships in a decade. That's insane. That like you guys said, I mean that is dominant. It speaks for itself.
And especially if he does it right now is he 35 or 36?
Will be
Uh,
36 this year, I want to say.
Yeah, even winning it at 36 is very impressive, and for him to be still playing at this level is insane. He's easily going to be into top five discussion, and I agree, Kevin. You could argue that he'd be in the GOAT debate. I think another point that we talked about, like with Alvini, was a lot of these players like have that like almost aura to them, or have that fan base in other countries that aren't the U.S. and being able to wake up at 4 a.m. and watching them play. And Curry is one of those players that fans in other countries were waking up to watch him, and he just had like a insane fan base overseas. The ratings go up when he's playing. I think easily he can be in that GOAT debate.
all right, fellas. Well, we've done our due diligence on the Warriors. We've
And
talked about the Warriors. But let's move on. Let's move into a quick segment here. This is Good Morning, Check Your Mailbox. This is a segment where we read emails from our fan inbox at gmlbfans@gmail.com. Feel free to email us anything basketball related. We read most of the emails on the show as we see fit. They don't always have to be basketball related, but we prefer they are. This week's email comes in from Denver, a returning fan. Denver, welcome back to the show. You're on it again. And he says, fellas, love the pod today. I have another idea. I was wondering who you would pick for your NBA starting five, only using athletes from other sports all time, and no players that switch sports like MJ. So, fellas, we're going to go ahead and we're going to create our starting five. Daniel, you have the point guard. Kevin, you have the shooting guard. Victor, you have the power forward. I'll take the center, and we'll collectively decide on a small forward. So, Daniel, you can start. Who do you have? Any sport athlete, who do you have as our point guard?
So for our point guard, I decided to go with soccer player, football player. I went with Robert Lewandowski. If you don't know who that is, he's a 6'1" striker. He spent most of his career in Germany, so he's got a lot of that like rigorous, conservative, I don't know how to explain it, very organized type of ball skill or like coaching. But then he also went to Spain. He's currently on Barcelona. So he learned that tiki-taki, tiki-taki offense, which is also considered the triangle offense. So he's very used to that. I mean, Lewandowski's known as a finisher and all-around athleticism build. I mean, you look up this guy, like you'll understand why I'm picking him as our point guard. But yeah, in terms of athleticism, height, strength, and just in general, I think he would be a good player to transfer into being a point guard for the NBA.
I like it. Perfect size, too. 6'1". It's the same size as Jalen Brunson.
All right, so for shooting guard, for our squad of non-NBA basketball players, I got to go with Coach Prime. Give me Dion Primetime Sanders. All state in football, baseball, and basketball in high school. All state in 3 sports in high school.
That's
That's pretty
nuts.
wild. Severely athletic, competitor, trash talker. We like it. Good size. Great college football coach right now. He has the dog in him.
Is he? Is he? Is he a good college football coach?
I mean, they only have like 1 or 2 losses.
Yeah. All right, he qualifies.
Looking
I
there, but
like
yeah, I need a dog at the 2 guard. I want Coach Prime.
it. All right, Victor, give us our power forward for the lineup.
For our power forward, I went with Tyson Fury, standing at 6'9" with a 7'1" wingspan. He's going to be blocking shots. He has that strength. I think he's going to be a bruiser down low. And if I had to compare him or like put him in any era, I feel like he would be fitting with the Detroit Bad Boys.
Probably because he's like Bill Lambier type.
Yeah,
He's not the one that lost to Jake Paul, right? That's the legend. Tyson Fury is.
it was
Tyson
his
Fury is
brother.
the actual boxer.
Okay, yeah, good. Because
Like
there's is it his son that fought Jake Paul?
Yeah.
stepbrother.
Oh, is it
Oh,
stepbrother?
that's
Jesus,
so
I
Yeah.
forgot.
weird. That's so
You think a
weird.
you think a 35-year-old man has a 24-year-old son?
I thought it was weird, but they were like when they were talking about each other, man, I thought they were siblings or something. Or
They are
sorry,
siblings.
not siblings, you get what I mean. What's it called?
All right, fellas, I'm about to cook with our center here because this guy technically doesn't qualify as a true athlete, but the role he played does qualify as an athlete. And Victor, I'm glad you went a boxer because I'm going Dolph Lundgren. You know who that is? That's the guy who played Ivan Drago from Rocky. That's going to be our center. I
Wow.
want Ivan Drago as our center, and he's going to hold down the middle. I don't know how tall he was in the middle or in the movie, bro, but like that dude, they made him look like 7 feet, like super imposing, crazy physique, got the Karl Malone physique. I want Ivan Drago as our center. He'll probably fail his physical because I'm pretty sure he does a bunch of steroids in the movie while Rocky's training and stuff. But overseas, he's from Russia, I believe. And he's just a dog, bro. So that's who's gonna be our center. I went with an actor who played an athlete. I hope that counts.
That does count because now I have a great recommendation for small forward.
Who?
It's either Air Bud or or at small forward, we're gonna stick with the Rocky series and we're gonna go with Diamond Damian Anderson at small forward from Creed 3.
Bruh.
This is a guy that's gonna fight tooth and nail in every single game. Was locked
Bro.
up for 20 plus years, comes back, wins the heavyweight title in his first pro fight. You don't want that guy in your starting lineup?
Oh
Sure,
No one,
bud.
no one
man.
wants that work.
Bro, they're both insane. Air Bud caught me so off guard, bro. All right, Victor, you said you had one. Go ahead and drop. Who do you think would fill our lineup at the small forward?
I got two in mind, either John Jones or Michael
Okay.
Phelps.
I
My,
was okay, I was thinking Michael Phelps. He was on my list.
he's got a 6'7" wingspan.
John Jones did come to mind for me, but what if we went the T-Rex from Jurassic Park, making a callback?
I think we're stretching it, picking a T-Rex.
No, I
It's
know, I'm
not quite
kidding.
an other sport athlete. What about oh, here's one. Why don't we draft the basketball king from regular show as our
Oh,
small forward? That would be
That's
tough,
not
bro.
bad.
I
That
don't
would
know
be
who that
tough,
that would
is.
bro.
be sick.
The
What?
Bro,
dude who
he,
come
he
the dude who
comes
come
from the moon.
They had that picture of Brandon Ingram that looked like him. When he like that one off-season picture. Yeah.
Yeah, there he is. There he is.
I didn't
I'm
watch regular show, so I didn't know who this was, but you can tell the blue one's Mordecai, right?
yeah,
He
yeah.
looks pretty tall in the show, and he's taller than him. Way
No,
taller.
bro. He's like Julius Irving. He's like Julius Irving. Like
Basketball king.
I think we either do Air Bud or the basketball king from regular show. Either one.
Funny because we did not pick an athlete then.
Yeah, I know.
Well, we Denver, we apologize. We're stretching it a little bit. But but I
We
think our
made it more
lineup would
fun.
be crazy. All right, are we going basketball king? I feel like basketball king
We can
is
go. Yeah,
fire.
I like basketball king. I'll have to look up some tape on him later, but I like
I
what I
wish
see
I
so far.
I wish I wouldn't have picked someone so legit at this point. Like I wish I would have picked the one of the monsters from uh
Oh,
the yeah, you know what I'm talking about.
we could have went like
Imaginary
Space
friends.
Jam. No,
Yeah,
like
Space
Space
Jam
Jam.
monsters.
Some Looney Tunes characters. All right, let's go through the final list. Everyone say your position. I'll go ahead and say small forward. So Daniel, just go ahead, restate. We'll go in order. Who do you have for point guard for our final roster?
For our point guard, I picked up Robert Lewandowski.
Shooting guard, we picked up Deion Sanders.
Small forward, we did work in the draft, and we drafted our rookie, the basketball king from regular show.
Power forward, we drafted Tyson Fury.
And at center, we have Ivan Drago from the Rocky movies, who is probably going to fail his physical. So, Denver, thank you for the email. This has been Good Morning. Check your mailbox. If you want to email us, we do read all emails on the show at gmlbfans@gmail.com. Denver, thank you once again, fellas. Let's move on. Moving into our third segment for today, we're going to be talking about which teams have the most to gain from a championship. And Kevin is going to go ahead and introduce this topic for us. Kevin, what teams did you bring to the table?
Sure. So we've played a healthy amount of games now to kind of tell who's legit and not. So we're going to circle back to a topic we had last year on like what a championship would mean for each of these teams to make it over the hump, to finally get over that hump. So first off, I want to talk about the Boston Celtics. One of the first things I wanted to mention is that I don't think Tatum will get memed anymore. And I mean that in all seriousness, not as a joke. Because it's hard to meme a guy that goes back to back.
And is an MVP candidate.
As an MVP candidate. But can he win the finals MVP? No, I'm just kidding. But yeah, the memes won't be there. A dynasty can start. I think it would be a start of one because the team's still relatively young. No one's really like old besides Al, obviously.
I got a question.
I don't
about
even think
the
Drew
dynasty,
Holiday's
though.
that old.
You got what?
I got a question about the dynasty though, because I remember going into the season that they were saying that this is probably they're going to run it back, and then Drew Holiday or Porzingis can't get resigned because of Tatum and Jaylen Brown's contract. I'm pretty sure.
Good.
That's assuming they don't take pay cuts.
Okay.
If you win two championships back to back, you may see a pay cut be taken for more.
Okay. I didn't think about that.
Or you may see the opposite, and they may see that as enough and then go get paid. But they could take pay cuts too. I'm not going to say that's a realistic answer, but that is a possibility. Let's assume that they don't do it,
and
though.
then Al Horford retires.
Who would they
want
to keep? Who would they want to keep? Porzingis or Drew?
Drew.
Porzingis is younger.
Porzingis is more impactful, but Drew plays games. So
Yeah,
they'll probably end up keeping Drew Holiday.
If I were them, I would pick Drew Holiday over Porzingis.
Get someone who's impactful and can play.
Yeah.
Like that can't be that hard to find.
Yeah,
I feel like
I'd probably take the guy that actually like plays basketball. No shot at Porzingis, but like
No, honestly,
Porzingis. All I wanted to say is Porzingis is like such a unicorn, unique type of player, where like you can find a defense first guard who's experienced easier than you can find a stretch big who shoots 40% from three and protects the rim that can like at the center position that could like fit in that system like Porzingis does, who's athletic enough to like be switchable. Like Porzingis is a very unique player. And I'm saying like, yeah, we have Wemby and Chet now, but like besides those three, there's really not another player like that. So I think Porzingis is more valuable, but again, the fact that he doesn't play games is just such a it's hard to rationalize keeping him over Drew Holiday. I will say one guy that can't go is Derek White. Derek White cannot go. If Derek White goes, they'll lose, even if they have Drew and Porzingis still.
I think he's protected. I think Derek White's like they're gonna make it a mission to like he's gonna be like a first priority. Obviously Tatum, not counting Tatum and Brown, because like obviously they are, but I think Derek White would be like, all right, next we need to like give this guy some dollars that he would like.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
yeah. I was gonna say I think I definitely agree with the statement that it won't be as much of a meme anymore, especially with the even what I'm specifically talking about is the whole we did it thing and how like a lot of people didn't take that well. It didn't mean as much as like past championships, at least not to other fans of the NBA. It did get memed, but I think honestly even me who saw that and was like okay, has now come around and kind of learned to appreciate that moment a little bit more. And to kind of just already been like, okay, you know what? Let's be honest here. Like the Celtics are a really good team. Joe Mazzulla is a really good coach, and that team going into the next or going into this the end part of this season will most likely be a heavy favorite to win the championship again. When you do that, yeah, you lose your ability to be memed because you are a serious contender and you are someone that that is regularly talked about as that team to beat in the NBA.
I think when you talk about like some of the most dominant teams in NBA history, and if they were to repeat again this year, I think the Boston Celtics would be in that category with like the 95 Bulls, the Warriors. I think that they could have a pretty good chance at being one of those teams being talked about.
You took the words right out of my mouth. I'm so mad I didn't talk before you because I was literally gonna say if they win, they are an S tier dominant, like all time NBA team. Like the fact that we're like in this NBA season, everyone's like, okay, how long until the Celtics repeat again? It's like it's insane. The narrative is that they're gonna win. Like it's and then last year, like just being dominant in the playoffs, I think they only took what, like how many losses? Two, one or two losses. Could be wrong. Could be completely off on
I think
that,
they only
but
took two losses. I think you're right.
because they took one to the Mavs, they swept Pacers, they took one to the Heat, and I think that was it. I think they took one to the Mavs and one to the Heat, but
Yeah.
so two losses. But it's incredible. Like Joe Mazzulla being as young as he is, I know we talk about coaching not meaning as much as other people like other people think it means a lot more than we do collectively as a pod. But I mean, Joe Mazzulla winning two back-to-back championships as a young coach. Al Horford again makes a great Hall of Fame case if he graduates from the NBA with two rings. Like there's just a lot that goes into it. Tatum having the same amount of rings as Kevin Durant is a big one too. He might go down as just as dominant potentially as Kevin Durant if he keeps improving, gets an MVP this year. He's on the same exact trajectory. So yeah, I just think the dominance is the big thing for them.
Man, you
And
guys
not
just took me on a roller coaster of emotions because on the one hand, like you guys pointing out that yes, they would be in the same conversation as one of the most dominant teams that we've ever seen makes me sick to my stomach. So now I'm like, oh God, I hope next season I hope someone does stop them. But you guys are right. If they do win a championship, they do go down as one of those better teams. And then Miles, you saying Tatum could be on the same trajectory as KD. I hope he does. I hope he does end up higher on the list of all-time players than KD. So I don't know how to feel about this anymore. Go on, Victor.
I was just say their just lineup is insane. You know, 1 through 5, very versatile, um, very impactful on defense. They can score. We saw that this season with the amount of 3-point attempts they're getting. It's insane. It could be very well argued, I think.
Their core, Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown, also homegrown. Tatum's championship already means more than both of KD's, but let's just end on that. Let's move on. Kevin,
Yeah.
what's the second team we got before we unpack that? Because I don't want to actually unpack that right now.
Second team is currently undefeated Cleveland Cavaliers. It'd be the first ring without LeBron. So that's something right there already. Donovan Mitchell would make me eat my words that I've been spewing for as long as he's been in the league. It
Yeah,
would
you
mean a lot for
do.
them. Evan Mobley being a steal in the draft, him absolutely just balling this year.
Hmm.
A ring for Cleveland this year would be huge. Huge.
The city needs it, I think. Also, at the time of recording, the Cavs just tipped off against the Celtics in the NBA Cup game. So we will see if that record remains undefeated for the record. So, but yeah, I think the first championship without LeBron, that's the biggest thing here. Um and besides that, like you said, Donovan Mitchell being a player who notoriously dominates the regular season. We saw it on the Jazz. we've seen it on the Cavs. I believe they got a 2 seed, 3 seed a couple years ago, and they just collapse in the playoffs. It's tough to see. And Donovan Mitchell is one of those greats that I feel at least is going to get overlooked in the future when we're talking resumes and legacies. Same with like Damian Lillard because they just don't have that chip. And Mitchell's obviously a lot younger, so to get a championship this early, and if their team continues to dominate through the playoffs, and like let's say they do beat the Celtics and win a finals here, like that team is young, that team is affordable, that team has chemistry, that team can stay together for a really long time. So, and it just seems like everyone's bought in. So that's if they win this year, that is a dangerous future for the Eastern Conference.
Yeah, talking about their future, man. Shout out to the Cavs front office because everybody was saying once LeBron left that they were cooked, doubted them, and now we're here, and the Cavs are what they are. They're undefeated. You know, when Donovan Mitchell got there, I was seeing that rebuild happen, and I was like, oh, this is gonna be a scary team in a couple years. And here we are. You get just that they just had to stay. I did. I promise you.
He did. He's always been
I
high on the
I've
Cavs.
always been high on the Cavs, but Darius Garland was an all-star before um Donovan Mitchell came there. He's probably going to be an all-star this year. He's hooping, and not a lot of people have like been putting respect on him in the past. He's always been underrated. He had that injury last year, which kind of made him not play as well last year. But this year, we're seeing that Cavs team really play well.
But will he
So
get the fan votes? Since you guys always to say that when I say Evan Mobley's an
Well,
all-star.
Darius Garland got it before, so
That's
no,
true. Go ahead.
it's always going to come down to that. But um, oh gosh, now I don't remember what I was going to say. No, I do. So I got one of these moments too, but I am 98, maybe
Here we
99%
go.
sure that I said this. So when we made our predictions last year, I think for who we thought may be the face of the league, my pick was Donovan Mitchell. And I
That was
have
2 years ago, but
Okay,
yes.
so it was 2 years ago. Thank you. But yes,
Mm.
I have since fallen off of that for sure. You know what I mean? Because in my head, I think when I made that statement, I was like, Donovan Mitchell's at that age where like these next 4 years are going to really determine how well his legacy turns out, right? Um, so that being said, he's got a real opportunity here. He's 28 years old. He's kind of, not molding this team, but this team is being molded around him kind of as I would say the face of it. And if they go into the next few years being as dominant as they are right now, my take could pay off. That's just me kind of blowing smoke. Yeah, whatever.
Yeah, I was gonna
But
say
yeah, no, no,
that
no.
take
Yeah, I
was
know.
just
Yeah.
hyping yourself
Yeah.
up right there.
But in reality, I've tossed and turned with this as much as I would like that take to come out into fruition. I don't know if they have what it takes to compete in those later stages of the playoffs, versus teams with so much experience and with guys that have so much experience in those positions. So that's why I feel like it's tough, but definitely have a lot to gain if they do this. Like Miles said, that's a very dangerous future.
Yeah.
I do want to
I don't-
say, oh, go ahead. Sorry.
Nah, it wasn't important. I was just going to talk about how we looked at the box score the other night, and three players on Cleveland had a double double, and Ty Jerome was 2 assists away. So there were 2 assists away for Ty Jerome for four players in the starting lineup having a double double in that one game.
No, I'm glad you said that because that plays right into what I was going to say is that Kenny Atkinson continues to be the coach that comes in, builds chemistry, and just gets the team to buy in. We saw it with the 2018 Brooklyn Nets. We saw it with who he has now in the Cleveland Cavaliers. He just builds the chemistry. I feel like he's just a straight up players coach. Everyone on the team loves him. Everyone trusts him. And he's proved it right. He got unfairly fired for Steve Nash when Kevin Durant and Kyrie Irving came, and everyone wanted him to stay, but he just didn't fit what Katie and Kyrie wanted. So he's like, all right, I'll take a few years off, study the game, come back in my head coaching role, and look at us. We're 15-0 now. Shout out Kenny Atkinson, though. That's one of the most underrated coaches in the NBA of the 2010s, and 2020s it's looking like now.
You think Kyrie and KD's what they wanted was to not win? Just kidding. Sorry, go on, Victor.
No, they wanted
I
Steve Nash, which indirectly was to not win.
I also think if the Cavs win, I think a lot of people are going to put Donovan Mitchell as the best shooting guard in the NBA.
Let's move on to the next team. I don't want to unpack that either
All
right
right.
now. I don't know if
That's
I have it in me to unpack that. I'm
All
gonna be
right.
honest.
Yeah,
I
because
like
if
the
he
take though. I'm not
wins,
against it
All
yet.
right.
because it's tough to say. It's so hard to say without him winning. Without him winning, like I don't even want to like touch on it. You know what I mean? But
Well, I
he
When
said
is
he
if he
really
wins.
good.
wins, when he wins next season, we're debating that for sure. We're debating that. That's a good topic. It's too much to unpack here, but we'll circle back to that.
He's my
We'll come
number
back to
two.
that. I
Okay,
Number one
you
love it.
can
who
you can make that. You can make that
number
like
one ain't who it is.
Number one is Anthony Edwards for
It's
anyone
not.
watching. Okay, Kevin, go ahead. Let's do the next team.
Last team is the Phoenix Suns. KD proves he doesn't need Steph Curry to win a ring. D Book could also be in that conversation of being a best two guard in the league. You know, he's a great player. He kind of just needs that ring under his belt. Don't think he'll ever win an MVP, but he could be one of the better players of our generation with the championship under his belt. Bradley Beal finally gets a ring after hooping on trash teams his whole career. We can talk about KD being top 10 all time as well, which I think
I'm
definitely
gonna
puts him there with 3 rings.
I know I've been just circling back to coaches, but it shows again that Mike Budenholzer was wrongly fired by the Bucks. And it shows that, hey, I'm coming back and I'm still gonna win a ring. I'm gonna play this quick style of pace. I'm gonna have all my players shoot more threes. Something he literally did in Milwaukee, and that's what got them that chip. But it's just insane. Like he's gonna come back and he's gonna win another championship. He's gonna have a job there for a long time after that. That's the biggest, well, that's not the biggest thing I see, but that's like one of the most underrated aspects I see is just all three, Boston, Cleveland, and Phoenix, their coaches all just have like legacy defining moments. But you guys could go ahead and dive into to Katie or Book or Beal. I just want to
uh
mention that.
no, I mean, yeah, I think the biggest thing is probably for Katie and Book's legacy of winning a championship together and kind of just proving so many people wrong because I think so many people like yes, they're in conversations every year where people are like, "Oh, this team is scary," but it just never pans out to anything. So I think that that would be, like I said, really big for their legacy. And if the Phoenix Suns won a championship, it's just another name for a team that has proven themselves in the conversation of contenders. And what I mean by that is like we talk about Lakers and Warriors so much, not just because they're past championships, but or sorry, not just because they're, very notable teams, but also because they're fairly recent NBA championships. The same goes for Denver and the same goes for Boston or in this case, let's say Mavericks because they were in the finals. So if the Suns win the championship, they become yet another reason why the West is just the absolute Wild West when it comes to talent and skill and competition in the NBA.
I do like to take that Katie is top 10 if he wins a ring without Curry. I think it's good for his legacy because he has a narrative that says he can only score and he can't do much else, which is just simply a wrong narrative about him. A lot of people like to say that just because they don't like Kevin Durant as like a person and the decision he made. But if he were to win a ring with Devin Booker, a young up and coming point guard at the twilight years of his career, if you want to call them that, he's still a superstar, but I mean, I think he could crack, like, you could make the argument he's top 10 on the end of the top 10, but I mean, he's above guys that could be there.
Yeah, I think he'd be easily in the top 10 if he won another ring. I know people are so quick to like discount the ring that he got with the Warriors, and I get it. But I also think that if he didn't go to the Warriors, he could have had a potentially wherever he went, or if he stayed with the Thunder, whatever that case may have been, I think he could have got a good chance at getting a ring if he didn't go there. I
Well,
just meant like saying like if he didn't go to the Warriors, I think whatever his career trajectory could have been, I think whatever team he was on, he could have won a ring
Okay, I see.
during those
Okay.
years.
I don't necessarily agree, but I just wanted to. I didn't hear you correctly the first time, but go on.
But I was
It'd
going
be
to say a lot of people do discount Kevin Durant's rings. If you discount KD's, you discount Curry's too. Oops. That's a
yeah,
conversation nobody wants to have and nobody's
I
ever brought up.
I agree. I mean, we brought it up when we were planning the episode because we have the note right here. But yes, that's a good point.
No, I'm not saying us. I'm not saying we did
Yeah.
it. I'm saying like
The community
people
in
like
general, yeah.
people on social media and social like they do not talk about that.
I
It's
never
a
discount any rings. I'll say that. No rings should be discounted, in my opinion. But go on, Miles.
it's a fair argument to say. I don't want to dive too deep into it, but just considering that Stephen Curry didn't win either of the finals MVPs during those championship runs. Like Kevin Durant was the best player on the team. So people discount it. Of course, you could do whatever you want, but no one's going to discount Curry for not getting finals MVPs. Everyone's like, well, it was Curry's team. Well, why didn't he win finals MVP then? So you're right. And it's a conversation no one wants to have because everyone loves Curry, including us. But I mean, when you look at it objectively, there's definitely an argument to be made there.
It just always boils down to they needed each other. It
Did they
always
need
boils
him?
down to they
They-
always
they-
needed each other. I think like to Victor's argument, right? If KD doesn't go to the Warriors, I don't necessarily think that KD would have won a championship anywhere else. And by the same product, I don't know if the Warriors would have gone on the same run. You know,
I mean,
they needed each other.
they won before and after him.
Yeah. Draymond said they would
True.
literally win with or without him.
But it's easier to say that now.
They were a hell of a lot better with him.
Yeah.
For sure, yeah.
Like,
What do you fellows say we get into Fusion 5?
I think it's that time. Gentlemen, we're nearing the end of our episode. So with that being said, we're going to roll into our final segment of the day. And we're going to be competing in a brand new segment, which is Fusion 5. I'm going to give you guys 2 current NBA teams, and you have to combine them to build a starting 5 to defeat a previous championship roster. The championship roster you guys have to defeat today is the 2017 Warriors.
Ooh,
Round 1,
we
you have to
lost.
build a starting lineup with the Atlanta Hawks and the Philadelphia 76ers.
Oh, hell no. What the hell, man? That's
We got to go with
That's
Dyson
crazy.
Yeah, we got to go with Dyson
No.
Daniels.
bro.
Wait, hold on.
You'd be dumb not to
Dyson
get Dyson
Daniels?
Daniels. He can defend in the pick and roll. I will say
Yeah,
that.
I know, but like, bro, that's like the least of our worries here.
yeah, like we've got to go up against the 2017
We
Warriors.
gotta score
gotta
the
get-
ball, bro.
I know we got to get someone clamping though.
I don't think we can have someone who only play. I mean, Dyson Daniels has been coming on offense. All right, let me give him his flowers. The GMLB pen tit basket of flowers to Dyson Daniels on this one. But we know he's primary defense. We need a guy who can play really good offense too. We need a guy who can play really, really good offense.
So would it
Otherwise,
be dumb?
I didn't realize where you were going with this, but I feel like you're warming up to just tell us you're gonna pick Trey.
Or would it be dumb to go Dyson and then Maxey?
Ooh,
I
we
was
could go
thinking about
Maxey.
that, but
Defense and
I think you need Trey Young. Come on.
Yeah, we can get all
Uh,
3 of them.
we cannot get all 3 of them. There's
Yeah.
no way we can get all 3 of them. I think we need to choose either Maxi. You know what? It is Klay Thompson, who is the shooting guard, who is a threat from 3, but is not as much of a threat as we would think.
Why don't we
He's
put
third option, so we might be able to get away with running a Tyrese and Trey Young backcourt. We might
also-
be able to get away.
we could
we
put
also gotta
Dyson
think about
Daniels at the
those-
3.
No, you can't, bro.
Why do we want Dyson Daniels? I get he's a
Dyson
good
Daniels-
defender, but like,
Dyson Daniels
bro,
is guarding KD.
this is the 2017 Warriors, bro.
That's
I
okay.
forgot-
So
I
that's what
forgot
I was
about
thinking
that.
with
Okay.
Curry. I was thinking
We're
about the
putting-
matchup between Trey and Curry too. I don't know if that works out well. Like,
We have to put Paul George. We have to put Paul George to guard Kevin Durant. That's the only hope we have.
yeah, no, you're probably right about that.
We have to have Paul George in there to guard Kevin Durant.
You have a really good mismatch at center with Embiid and Julia.
Yeah, I was gonna say like Embiid's a given. Like
Yeah.
Mhm.
I don't want to. I mean, I assume you guys weren't gonna argue with that, but
No, I wasn't taking Clint Capella.
Yeah, no, me neither.
Victor might want to run small ball and put Dyson Daniels at center, just because. Um, okay, so we'll go Embiid at the center for sure. We'll
Yeah.
go. I think we should go. I'm gonna propose Paul George at the 3 to potentially guard KD.
Then are we going
We
with the
put Paul
4?
George at the 4 and maybe Jalen Johnson at the 3.
That's what I was just about to say.
Yeah, I was gonna say we need length and we need a guy who could play both ends, and that's gonna be Jalen Johnson.
Or do we put a lot of faith in Caleb Martin and hopefully he has like a
Hmm.
Boston
No.
Eastern Conference final series? No, we're not. Yeah, I didn't want to either. I like Jalen Johnson.
Y'all always find a way to bring that up on this podcast, knowing I'm a Celtics fan. You always
I was saying
find a
if he
way.
has a series like that in this game, might have to take him.
Shit, I don't think it's gonna be enough still.
Probably not. I like PG and Jalen a lot better.
Okay. So we have our front court with Paul George, Jalen Johnson, and Embiid.
It's a very good front court.
Personally, it's either shooting and passing or scoring. Like Maxi's going to be a great score. It's either scoring and defense or shooting and passing. So I think we need to. I don't think we should run both of them, bro. I think that's a bad idea.
No, you
But what are
shouldn't.
what are you proposing?
I'm proposing we figure out our 2 guard first and then decide who our 1 is based off our 2 guard.
I think I've already decided who my 1 is, but let's talk about the 2.
Who do you guys want at the 2?
Well, we got
Lowry. I'm kidding.
What are the options?
Mo Bamba's still on the board as well.
No.
Jared
what are the
McCain.
options? Oh, I forgot about
Jared
Jared
McCain is a
We
candidate
are
for
not-
apparently.
we are
No, I
not
know, but
putting
he's
I know we're
I
not.
know, but
We're
he's
not.
a candidate for Rookie of the Year, I guess now. Like, or he's a favorite, I guess, in fan voting right now.
Yeah.
Oubre? No.
Oubre, I think might be a good option. I'm not gonna lie, bro.
It's not a bad option, but maybe we could
I
come up with
don't-
someone better.
I don't think Bogdanovich is a good option.
He's hurt right now too.
DeAndre Hunter, no. I don't know, man. I think just having the size of Kelly Oubre, like we just need guys who can cover the floor. So 6'8" shooting guard, Kelly Oubre. We have Jalen Johnson, Paul George, and Kelly Oubre as like a mid-floor rotation. I think that's gonna bother as much as we possibly can. It sucks. He's only shooting 27% from 3 though. That's gonna kill us. How tall is
That
Dyson
wings-
Daniels?
He's
That
6'7".
wings
Maybe we do go Dyson Daniels actually at the 2, just
Thing
for
is, though-
matchup reasons.
who would match up against Kelly Oubre though?
Klay Thompson, who at this
Right.
point is a good defender still.
Okay, but in 2017, less mobile. It's still hard. I was just
We're gonna need guys who could space if we have Embiid. So what's Dyson Daniels shooting from 3 to?
28%.
Oh, okay. Well, if
Kind
he's
of in the
shooting
same
20,
spot.
if he's shooting, okay, they're the same player. Kelly Oubre's taller and probably. Oh my gosh, this is bad. This is bad.
What is Kelly Oubre taller than, like, by 1 inch?
Yeah, he's low key more tenacious, but
I feel like
guess
we've
Dyson
seen
Daniels
Kelly-
is in depoy. I don't think we go with either of them if neither of them could shoot. You can't surround Embiid with
So then
non-shooters,
we
otherwise
just
you'll
go
be 2
Maxey
and
and
11.
Trey,
Maxi's
if that's what
get
we're gonna do.
destroyed.
Maxi guarding Curry then.
It's
No,
just so bad
Trey has to guard.
defensively. It's so
That's what I'm
bad
saying. Maybe
defensively.
switch
I don't
them.
know.
Like
Actually, that might be
Maybe
a bad
switch-
idea.
maybe
It's
switch
just
them.
not good for matchup reasons. Like obviously those are the 2 best available, but like we're playing the Golden State Warriors.
I say we do Kelly Oubre at the 2. I say we take the risk. We've seen him shoot well in the past. decently, maybe he'll just have one of those games.
Is DeAndre Hunter a horrible option?
Yeah.
He's averaging
Compared,
20 right now.
compared to the options we have now, I don't know if I'd want to go with DeAndre Hunter.
So 6'8", 20.5 points, 48% from three. And we're not going that guy?
Wait, power forward, we're going Jalen Johnson, right?
Yeah.
And then
I think
how tall is DeAndre Hunter?
6'8".
We could put PG at small forward and then DeAndre Hunter at the two.
Yeah, Jalen Johnson's a 4. Like,
No, I know.
it should
Yeah.
be DeAndre Hunter at 2, PG 3, Jalen Johnson 4, and Beat 5. So I don't know. I'm gonna propose DeAndre Hunter. I think DeAndre Hunter is a good option. Don't all speak at once.
Well, if we're going off of
Still
like,
agree.
points and stuff and like who's shooting the best, there's some
He's a
other
good defender. He's only played 4 games though, but good defender, 48%, 20 points. Might want to go DeAndre Hunter. That might be our best bet. He could guard Klay Thompson at least. I mean, that's probably the easiest matchup besides Draymond and Zaza. I
For
say
him being 6'8", though, and only grabbing 2 to 3 boards a game.
he's averaging 5 right now.
For sure.
Yeah, I'm looking at it. He's a shooting guard.
Oh, just the last 3 games. I thought he's only played 2 games. That's all that's popping up.
Yeah, he's only played 4. But
Kelly.
dude, why? Okay, I say we go Maxey because he's a better defender than Trae Young. Trae Young's gonna get us killed if he's guarding Stephen Curry. So we go
Yeah.
Maxey, Hunter, Paul George, Jalen Johnson, and Embiid. And that'll
I'm
give us
fine
the
with
most
that.
versatile lineup.
That's
I'm
fine.
fine with that because we have a whole nother round to do.
No, yeah,
All right.
But I do like that. I don't
I
know if I
was
want to get Trae Young in the starting lineup. I'm gonna be
I
honest.
wasn't gonna put Trae Young in the starting. The only thing that made me like be like, okay, matchup wise, if Curry starts shooting threes, and then the other guy that looks not similar to him but has a similar play style starts banging threes too, it might shake up, the energy in the arena. But I don't think it's gonna work out like that. So I was gonna go Maxey all along too.
Yeah. I think Jalen Johnson is just barely a good enough shooter to give us a shot at starting him. He's shooting 35. So he's average, well, a little below, but he's going to be our best matchup because if he's guarding Draymond, sag off, help, 6'8". Yeah. All right. So our final lineup to beat the 2017 Warriors using the Hawks and the 76ers is going to be Tyrese Maxey, DeAndre Hunter, Paul George, Jalen Johnson, and Joel Embiid.
Second round, we have the Pistons and the Kings.
To beat
Versus
the
the
same
same team.
Yes.
This is a tough one. So, I mean, we got to go Sabonis, obviously.
Yeah.
Yeah. Which isn't
Uh,
that's not
Power forward, Keegan Murray. I don't want Tobias Harris.
We could just stick Cade at the power forward because it is Draymond Green he'd be guarding.
I was saying you can get Cade and Fox in 1 and 2. They're both playing great right now.
Yeah, we could put Cade at the two because isn't he? I think he's 6'6" or 6'8".
He's
Or is he
6'6".
6'6". 6'6".
6'6".
Shooting league average from 3.
Yeah, we could put Fox at the 1, Cade at the 2, at the 3,
Sabonis at the 4, Duran at the 5. Imagine.
and then we can get DeMar.
I was gonna say DeMar.
That sounds like that's y'all really want to do like, bro, if we just put the
Who-
best players out there, we're gonna get smoked. We need like role players.
For
No,
sure.
we
Hold
do,
on.
but
DeMar's
you
not
know,
D'ing up anyone, especially KD, and he's shooting
oh yeah,
mid-range jumpers.
I
Like
completely forgot. Yeah, I
that's
completely forgot
killing
about
us
KD.
if we put him in the lineup. Like this team is gonna shoot through like and just drain threes. If we have a guy shooting only mid-range shots, we're never gonna catch up.
Yeah, you could throw Fontecchio in the lineup.
Tim Hardaway Jr.
Asar.
Definitely not a Sar. He's too much of an offensive threat. or not threat, offensive burden is the better term. I like Cade and Fox, and I think we need Sabonis because that's going to be a Draymond
Yeah.
matchup, but we need a stretch five. Do either of
You
these
mean the
teams
stretch
have a
four?
stretch five? No, I mean a stretch five. I think we run Sabonis at the you know what? Yeah. No, it makes more sense to run him at the five. Sorry.
I was gonna say, yeah,
Um
Sabonis at the 5, and then at the 4 could do
Keegan Murray.
something like
I don't trust Keegan Murray in the playoffs though.
Keegan Murray. If you want to
Keegan,
put Kevin Herter at the 4 for whatever reason,
Hell no. Dude, I don't know. I feel like DeMar and Keegan Murray are the best options.
I'm cool off DeMar more, I think, now.
I'd rather have Keegan Murray, someone that's way less ball dominant and can stretch.
hear me out. Why don't we start Keon Ellis? Keon Ellis
Where
would fit seamlessly in this lineup. If we do Fox, Keon Ellis, we move Cade to the 3, Sabonis 4. But who's going to guard KD? And who we need someone who's going to guard KD. Right now, we have no one who could do that. Keon Ellis, we could put on Curry though, and he's a 3-and-D guy, lockdown defender. I think he just hit 9 threes last game.
you want Keon over Malik Monk?
You see, there's a reason Malik Monk doesn't start in Sacramento. I think I don't think we take Malik Monk. Like, yeah, that's high-powered offense, but we're gonna get cooked on D, and he needs the ball in his hands in that second unit. So
Did you
he
guys
wouldn't
put
get that.
Keegan in the starting lineup or no?
They
Did
don't
you
want
guys-
to.
They don't want to.
I'm considering it just because
not
there's
a-
a lack of
It's not
options.
terrible.
Dude,
idea.
I'm not putting Tobias Harris in that starting 5. There's no way.
Dude, no one is.
No one
is.
said Tobias
No one
Harris.
said that.
I'm just making sure.
Calm your tits.
What's
I didn't dislike
Detroit.
Keegan Murray at all.
yeah,
He's our best
that
option.
might be that might be just virtue of best option. That might be who we have to go with. But he's gonna have to guard Kevin Durant.
Or Draymond.
Let's have the Kevins guard each other. Let's get Kevin Herter in there.
KD's 7 feet.
Yeah. I mean,
Like-
Kevin Herter's 6'7", but no, it wouldn't work out either way. He's taller than I expected. I didn't think he was that tall.
So we're doing Fox, Keon, Cade.
Fox, Keon, Cade, Sabonis at the 5.
And that
We need a
4.
shooter.
We're-
I think
we're
it's gonna
not-
have to be.
Yeah, we're overthinking it, man. It has to be
It's
Keegan
yeah,
Murray.
Keegan
Like-
Murray's got to go at that 4.
Yeah, just by virtue, I don't want him there, but by virtue of we literally have no one else who fits, then yes, it'll have to be Keegan Murray. So Keegan Murray is our matchup for KD that we're throwing at Kevin Durant. He's gonna get destroyed.
No one's going to be able to guard Kevin Durant.
How tall is
start
Keegan
off by-
Murray? Like
Let's
6'8",
start off by
6'9"?
saying that.
He might be 6'9". Or actually, I
6'8".
think he's 6'8", yeah.
So we put Fox on Klay, which he can get around screens. That's good. Keon on Curry. That's a perfect matchup because that also works on the other end. Then we have Sabonis guarding Zaza, Keegan on KD, and Cade on Draymond. I think would be how we'd run it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna lie, we get waxed in both series.
I like
maybe
that.
a
I
little
like the
bit,
first
but
team a lot better, but this team,
I actually
it,
like.
by
I might like this team better.
Cade's defense just isn't there yet. Like he's gonna get waxed.
That's why he's
Keegan
on Draymond.
Murray has a Kevin Durant matchup.
Actually,
I like
never
our
mind.
backcourt. I like Keon and
Yeah.
Fox on Curry and Klay a lot. And obviously we win the Zaza matchup, but we're getting cooked with Cade as a help side defender and Keegan as a defender on Kevin Durant. But yeah, I'll go through the final roster. Are we cool with that for final roster?
Yeah.
Yep.
All right, so our final roster to take down the 2017 Warriors using the Sacramento Kings and Detroit Pistons is at the 1, De'Aaron Fox, at the 2, Keon Ellis, at the 3, Cade Cunningham, at the 4, Keegan Murray, at the 5, DeMontis Sabonis. We're literally doing the Kings starting lineup with Cade Cunningham at the 3. That's what we'll go with. All right, fellas, good job. Let's move on to the outro. GMLB family, we thank you for tuning into this episode. I know we had a lot packed today, but we appreciate you all being here. As always, we are available on Snapchat, Instagram, YouTube, Apple Podcasts, and Spotify. If you're watching on YouTube, we'd appreciate a like and a subscribe if you enjoy. And if you're on Apple Podcasts or Spotify, we would appreciate a 5-star rating so we can continue to grow and continue to bring this content to you all. As always, if you want to email us, we do have the fan email at gmlbfans@gmail.com. We always read those emails on the show. And you know what? I never asked this, fellas. Any final words before we head out for today?
Thank you
Okay,
so
nope.
much for almost getting us to 2,000. Keep pushing that subscribe button. We're almost there.
Shout out Denver.
Yeah, shout out Denver
Yeah.
for always
Shout out
giving us
Denver.
emails.
Coming through again, and I will make a bold prediction here. This could age like fine milk if it goes wrong, but I'm going to predict that the Cavs will be 15-1 after tonight. GMLB family, we'll see you next time. Peace.